Normal People, Beautiful World Where Are You, and Intermezzo, 3 fan favorites by Sally Rooney. I hated one, I loved one, and I DNF'd the third. So which was which and why? Watch to find out. Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Spineless Books, your one-stop shop for all things audiobook. Sally Rooney is an Irish author who seems to have a vice-like grip on all of the youth of today. To quote B.D. McClay from the New York Times in his article, Sally Rooney Deserves Better Than This, I find that the key to her popularity isn't so complicated. Her books are optimistic stories in which love is real, friendship is lasting, ideas matter, and sex is a way for people to connect with each other rather than a set of abstract skills to master. Okay, fair. I'm not sure I agree that all of those things are present in equal measure. I do think I have seen all of those things described in Sally Rooney's books, but I'm not so sure that they're expressed as uniformly across the board as B.D. McClay is implying. So let's talk about the one I loved, Normal People. I read this book a little over a year ago, and I was absolutely enamored with Connell and Marianne. Now, I would tell you this is a book where actually very little happens, but I was just on the edge of my seat. I was so gripped by the characters, and I was so concerned for them and how things were going to pan out that I absolutely couldn't put it down. Now, what blew me away the most about this book, and I'm not going to spoil anything for those of you who haven't read it, but I absolutely love the way it concluded. It wasn't what I was expecting. It left me completely satisfied, and it was a surprise. I was so shocked by the way one single line wrapped this book up. It actually reminded me a lot of John Steinbeck's East of Eden. That kind of power in a conclusion, in a word or a final line. So given that that was my first experience with Sally Rooney, I was super impressed and eager to read more. So a year later, I picked up Beautiful World, Where Are You? I did this in anticipation of Intermezzo coming out, and I decided it was time to revisit Sally Rooney. I have to say, I was really not connected to this book from the beginning. It follows effectively 2 couples, and the girls in each of the couples are best friends. And so you have these scenes between a couple and then letter writing between the girls that sort of debriefs the scene, and then scene between the next couple and more letter writing the other way. I just didn't care. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I couldn't stomach it. I felt like there was way too much emphasis on the spicy scenes, and that really felt like that was the entire substance of the book. I didn't find there to be much of a plot other than that, and that was boring to me. In comparison to Normal People, I felt like this book totally dragged. I really had high hopes that maybe, somehow, like Normal People, the ending would surprise me or wrap things up. So I stuck it out all the way through, but the truth is, I couldn't wait for this one to end. It just felt like it was romantic scene after romantic scene and lacking pretty much any plot other than that. Now, Normal People had a lot of that, but it also had a plot. And this book for me just fell very, very short. So I finished Beautiful World, Where Are You? And then I read another book, and then Intermezzo came available from the library. So I started Intermezzo thinking, okay, I've had a dud and a success, here's my tiebreaker. I listened to 3 hours of the 16-hour audiobook, I think it was 16, and I just had to pull the plug. I felt like I was reading the exact same book with the genders reversed. And the truth is, I cared so little about Beautiful World, Where Are You? That this book was impossible for me to care about. I just immediately knew I couldn't do it. So I don't know, will I pick up Intermezzo one day in the future? I might. I'm not really sure if Intermezzo was the problem or where I am is the problem. I heard someone say in a podcast that they were full of Sally Rooney, and I think that's actually a great way to put it. I do think she's a wonderful writer. I really like her style. But to me, all 3 of these books kind of felt the same. So when you're a one-trick pony, once I've read your one trick, I don't really need to keep reading your one trick. So have you read Intermezzo? Is there something I'm missing or something I didn't wait for that I would find it was a very different book? Because as far as I'm concerned, all of her books are basically accounts of relationships, including the sexual parts, and there's not a whole lot more plot to them. I'm not really feeling like I want the back and forth structure again, and I'm not really feeling like I want to hear all of these accounts from the opposite gender, which to me is the only major difference with Intermezzo, at least in the 3 hours that I listened to. So, I don't know. Help me out here and tell me if there's something I'm missing. Maybe honestly I'm just too old and grumpy for these books. That's entirely possible. But remember, you might love what I hate and hate what I love, so make your own opinion. But thanks for listening to mine. Please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel.